I want you to start your Amazon selling journey the right way. I want you to truly understand what you can and cannot do with your seller account. Because if your account gets suspended, it will be pretty hard to open a new one or to get it active again. The most important thing is to always follow the rules, because Amazon is well known for removing selling privileges from sellers no matter the volume they are making, without any prior warnings. Now, Amazon rules always change, so I have included the links to their most important policies in the resource tab of this lecture. Also, there are much more smaller policies and rules there, so I highly suggest that you take time and check out the policies. However, what I'm going to cover in this lecture are the 7 deadliest mistakes that new sellers make, so pay close attention and take notes. Remember, you are going to be using Amazon's brand, power, and reputation for launching your own product, brand, and business. So we all must follow their rules to avoid permanent suspension. Now, by all means, this part should not scare or distract you. It's just something that you need to be aware of, so you can avoid and minimize any future mistakes. Now, I assume that you already know that common sense things such as alcohol, drugs, weapons are strictly forbidden on Amazon, of course. Now, the first and most obvious rule is that you cannot have multiple seller accounts. Amazon doesn't want you to have multiple seller accounts because it can be used to trick the system. For example, to have multiple listings of the same product, or to game the review and feedback system by reviewing your own products. Of course, these activities are strictly forbidden. If they find out that you have 2 or more seller accounts, they will shut them down permanently, and the probability of getting them back unsuspended is really low. However, if you're an advanced seller with 2 or more different brands in unrelated niches, you can ask for an exception. But you will need to have Amazon's permission first before opening a second seller account. The reason for opening a second seller account can be to make sure that your competitors don't see which other products you sell, or to have more professional store with your branded products only. The second rule is that you cannot link to any external resources or websites. As I mentioned before, you are using Amazon to launch your product, which means that Amazon doesn't let you take their customers off Amazon website, since they earn commission from each sale. Also, in the communication with your customers, you cannot link to your site in any way, or you cannot use your email address to communicate with buyers. You can only use Amazon's encrypted messaging system to communicate with your customers. I'm going to cover how the Amazon messaging system works in the following lectures. Now, the third rule is to watch out from where you are accessing your seller account. Now, there are 2 secure ways that I suggest you use for accessing your seller account. The first one is to dedicate only one internet connection and one computer for accessing your seller account. The reason for doing this is because if Amazon spots that 2 different seller accounts have been logged in from same internet connection or same IP address, your account might get suspended. Also, Amazon can spot if you used one computer to access several seller accounts, which will also get you in trouble. The safest way to play is to dedicate only one computer or laptop and one internet connection for accessing your seller account. Also, avoid accessing your seller account using internet connections in hotels, internet cafes, or public Wi-Fi connections. Now, you might be wondering what happens if you, for example, go on a vacation. Now, that brings us to the second solution, and that is to subscribe for virtual private server, which you can use to access your seller account. Which basically means that you can use any computer and internet connection in the world to access that virtual private server. And then, using remote access, you can log into your seller account through that virtual private server. Now, the price is about $10 to $20 per month. This topic will be covered in the next section. Now, the next rule is to respond to customer questions as quickly and as politely as possible. Amazon's mission, stated on their website, is to be the most customer-centric company in the world, which they also expect from you. every response that you make to your customers is tracked through their messaging system. So I suggest that you try to answer every question that you receive from your customers in less than 24 hours. Now, I personally aim for answering questions on average in under 4 hours. And also, I use my smartphone to answer the messages. As you'll learn later about Amazon messaging system, you can respond to your customers from any device without logging to your Seller Central account by using the encrypted customer email address. The fifth rule is that you cannot try to game the review or feedback system, or that you cannot incentivize for reviews. I have included the link to Amazon review guidelines in the resource tab of this lecture. Also, to learn more about reviews, scroll down to the social proof section of this course. In the social proof section, I show you exactly what is forbidden in terms of reviews, and also I show you the proven ways of getting legitimate reviews on autopilot. Now, the next rule is to not do the dropshipping. Now, if you're not familiar with what dropshipping is, it's basically selling products without having inventory. So that means that when a sale occurs, you tell your supplier to ship the product directly to your customer. Now, this is a recipe for failure and account suspension. Dropshipping is not a business model that I advise for Amazon, nor do I teach. Maybe on other marketplaces, dropshipping works, but on Amazon, it doesn't. The reason for this is because you don't have control over the inventory levels, you're not adding any value, the returns are a bit complicated, and also some part of the dropshipping process is against Amazon rules. For example, Amazon requires that on shipping label and invoice, only your name can be shown, not suppliers, which is a bit hard to manage. So I have included the link to Amazon dropshipping guidelines in the resource tab of this lecture, so you can explore this topic in more details. And finally, the last big rule is to stop doing something if Amazon tells you to stop, or if they send you a seller warning notification. Sometimes, but not in all cases, Amazon will warn you if you have done a suspicious activity on your account. Always follow what they say. It would be also great if you could immediately, as soon as you receive a warning notification, hop on to phone call with Amazon to solve the issue. Okay, so that's it for now. Please let me know if you have any questions in the discussion tab of this lecture.